Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat here in the Floativerse and coming at you live from the Floaters of Solitude. Thank you all very much for being here. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Miss Stephanie, always a pleasure to see you. Terry Widener, nice to see you here on the call tonight. Thank you very much. Dina, good to see you as well. Hi, how you all doing? I apologize if I look tired because part of it's just being old, of course. But also part of it is we've been with the Mariners in the postseason, we've been even a little more frantic than we normally are in October. So but I'm happy about it. It's good. It's nice to see extra money coming in that we normally don't get. So that's always a good thing. So hi, good to see all of you. Thank you all for being here. Nicole, good to see you. Thanks for joining us once again. Liliana, pleasure to see you as well. Linda Huska, as always. And Pia Guadalupe, hola amiga. Good to see you. Yeah, so there we go. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a good week. Hope you all are making money or relaxing or doing whatever you got to do. We have a variety of hola a todos. Am I correct? Does that mean hello, everyone? Is that what that means? My Duolingo is starting to work. If I'm right. If I'm wrong, then I suck. I will say the last couple of days here at the Floatress have been pretty crappy because our heat is out. And so it's been pretty rough in here. I've been pretty. In fact, the other day I was really angry because it's what's really messed up about this building is it could be 60 outside and 50 in here, and it's just so when it's like 40 something outside, it's worse in here, and I don't know why that is. But it is. And so right now and of course I've complained about this before too. The problem with our heater is we have one heater. There it is right there. We have one shop heater that heats the entire building. Come here, dude, you're driving me nuts. We got one heater that just that just runs the whole building. And the way it works, either you're going to be roasting like a pig or freezing. So it's one of the two. So hello, everybody. It's Murphy. Yes, it's time for Murphy to get a bath. Thank you, sir. But you won't stop nudging the chair, so I have to do so. And then you tried to go tear up a blanket or try to tear up one of our tablecloths, which you cannot do. It did not occur to me that. So I think I've shared this with you guys before. What the hell do you want, dude? What? He's normally very good about sitting here, but apparently not tonight. Okay. So and there we go. So there you have it. So yeah, we Murphy has this thing about chewing, and he has to chew and destroy something every night. So I have sacrificed blankets and towels and everything else to the dog. The very first night that he slept in my house, I woke up in the middle of the night with my leg sticking through the blanket because he had torn the blanket apart in the middle of the night. Okay. He literally chewed holes in my blanket while I slept. Now, thankfully, he doesn't do that anymore. As long as I sacrifice one to him, that's fine. It just occurred to me today, though, that his sacrificial blanket is in one of the vehicles right now. And so he's going to try to grab whatever he can find. And so that's not always the best thing out there. So there we have it. Stacy Chase, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So why don't we now right now he's chewing up a toy, which is perfect. So let's keep it that way. Okay. So with that being said, let's get to tonight's presentation. And so maybe we can get you guys out of here sooner than later. Hello, sir. Yes, that's it. Okay. So bear with me while I get to to my share screen. Let's get going here. Make sure everything's working right as I check my cheat guide, my Facebook feed here. There we go. And again, for those of you that are watching tonight, thank you very much for joining me here on Facebook Live. Of course, if you're watching this on a replay, either on Facebook or on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, we hit a landmark, kids. The 100-day countdown to float started 2 days ago on Friday. And so today is 98 days until float. Now, keep in mind, this is not the most accurate statement. We are 98 days away from opening night at float. If you are like, for example, if you're coming to float to compete, technically you have 96 days until float. The pre-funk is not included as part of this countdown. So the 98 days until we float designates that is when we will be. That's the day of opening night. That's Sunday, January 25th. So as of right now, and of course I get there. I think I get there, and I think I'm there in 92 days, 93 days, maybe something like that. So it's even less for me, which I'm going to tell you right now, the moment that 100-day countdown kicked in, my blood pressure went up. Like there's a lot to do and not much done yet. But we're getting there, and with everybody's help and everything else, we'll be in good shape. So there's the plan. So thank you all for being here. Now, more than anything, we have to update you on Aloft, because if you were with us last week, you know that we announced that we had an instructor lined up for Tuesday's class, but we did not have a subject matter because our original instructor bailed on us. So as a result, Leslie Hicks Mercado was kind enough to step in and say, yes, I can help you. But at the time of last week's show, we didn't have a subject matter confirmed. I am thrilled to share with you that we now do. So folks, and this is, I'm going to tell you, this is a topic that we are asked about and asked about and asked about and asked about and asked about every year. And there you go. The Christmas candy house with Leslie Hicks Mercado. So basically the gingerbread house concept that everybody, how do I make the gingerbread house? How do I make it? Every stinking November, December. Folks, Leslie Hicks is going to teach you how to make her style of gingerbread house. Again, this is either gingerbread, or in this case here, it's made out of candy. Either way, it's same structure, same bones, same concept, same everything. So Leslie's going to be teaching that for us on Tuesday, October 21st. Class will begin at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. Now, because this class came up so late, disregard the $25 sign-in. It's too late. We're not going to try and do it. We're just going to leave this open to Aloft members only. It's not going to be listed up on the website. It's just too late. So that's gone, out of here, done. So this time it'll be just for that. And then anybody that wants to buy in, you'll just have to buy a copy of it later on through the website. Or you can join Aloft, because remember, Aloft is only $80 for 6 months of full unlimited access, and it's $120 for the entire year. What does that get you, you might be asking? Well, let me tell you. It gets you access to over 150 videos, live classes, and podcast episodes. So we'd love to have you joining us as a member. And don't forget, there are lots of benefits to Aloft members at Float. So if you're coming to Float, you definitely want to sign up and join Aloft before, like, I think it's I don't remember the date exactly. I think it's January 15th. You need to get signed up for Aloft before January 15th. That's all I got to say. Okay. So we're looking forward to having Leslie joining us this coming Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, whatever the hell time it is where you are. Okay. Again, we are, the march to Reno has begun. Well, I shouldn't say that. The final march to Reno has begun. We are now, as I said before, 98 days away from the start, the official start of Float 2026. And there's lots of things to do. One of the things that we got to do is we got to start making badges. But this year, we are doing something different with the badges than we've done before. Last year, if you remember correctly, there was a security measure that we added to the badges. We added a holographic decal. Well, there'll be a new holographic decal this year, and that'll be on your badge. So it's not the same decal as we did last year, because that would be stupid. So we have a new holographic decal that'll go on the badges this year. But in addition to that, the problem, it has come to our attention that several other events over this past year have experienced something called badge swapping. And badge swapping is when somebody pays for a registration to go to a convention, and then either out of kindness or for profit, this person will then give their badge to someone who's not registered to attend so that they can go into the event. Now, in some cases, and in most cases, this is for people to go shopping. So like if you wanted to go to the vendor showcase, but you didn't want to buy a registration, you would simply say, let me have your badge and I'm going to go. Now, mind you, while this person, here's the problem with this system. That person could then go to the front desk and say, oh, I lost my badge. Right? And now there's two people running around with the same badge. So with that being said, this year we are taking an extra step. This year, your photo is being added to your badge. Okay? Much like Philomena here, your photo will be added to the badge that you're going to be wearing at Float 2026. This means we need your photos so that we can get started on this and so we can get ahead of schedule. Because right now, to be fair, I can't do many of them right now because I'm waiting on like a complete tool. I completely forgot to order more badge paper and the cases and everything. That's supposed to get here Wednesday. So I've been prepping badges and saving them so that I can print them as soon as we get the materials. But the bottom line is we need your help getting this ready. So for those of you that are coming to Float, and for those of you that would like to help us out, we would really love you to death if you would do this. However, it is very important to note that in order to do this, it needs to be done a certain way. Okay? So we can't get too much of that. Hello, Candy. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. So again, this has to be done in a certain set of ways. So let's talk about this. First of all, your headshot should be a headshot from the bust up, just like you see Philomena here. Bust up style headshots only. Please do not send us full body pics. Your photo is being shrunk down to about this big. A full body pic doesn't help anybody. So, and the problem is if we crop that out, 9 times out of 10, it's so pixelated and everything else from the quality of stuff we get from people, it's not usable. So please send us all you got to do, a selfie. Take your phone, click, done. Okay. That's number one. Number two, please submit a recent photo. It just occurred to me probably a month ago that I was still running around giving people my headshot from 2020. And I don't look the same. Don't get me wrong. I understand that we all looked better 20 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever. But please, we need a recent headshot, because the problem is if security looks at the headshot and you look too young to be in the picture, they may not admit you. So we need a recent headshot. Okay. So again, that's where the selfie comes in. Take your phone, just click and then send it in. So that would be wonderful. And finally, please don't wear a hat or anything on your head in the photo that you send. So far, several people have sent in photos and they've had hats on or whatever. Again, please don't do that. Please send a photo without a hat on or without something, sunglasses on your head, nothing like that. Please keep it just your head. Now, of course, there is one exception to this, and that is that if there is a religious reason that you have to have headgear on or something around your head, then that's different. That's totally different. We totally understand that. However, if it is not involved in that, then we ask you to send us a shot without anything covering any part of your head. So right now, if I were to take this selfie of me right now, click, then I would turn around and say, Oh, hey, Steve, you got to send me another headshot. So there's that. Jenny Porter, I've been using the same headshot for 5 years. I feel like I look the same though. It's funny. I did too until I realized how much grayer I am now. So then that was that. So there you go. Blanca Mendoza, good to see you too. Thank you very much for joining us. So there you go. And yes, Jenny, I will say that your headshot still pretty much looks very, very similar. If it's the one we're talking about with the teacher pictures, right? So there we go. Now, there is one more benefit to you sending me your headshot. The I Am Float memes have been put together, and we are absolutely going to double duty for you. So, if you send in your headshot, we will be more than happy to convert them for you into the I Am Float meme. And as you can see here, there's all kinds of lovely ways people can do it. It just depends on you and how you want it to look. And here's what I will also tell you. If, for example, Ryan is a really good example. Ryan Farewell, my staff person, I made him send me another picture because he had a hat on. But for his I Am Float meme, his hat can be on. That's perfectly fine. So I used a different photo for Ryan for the I Am Float versus his badge. So if there's some of you that want to use a different photo for each, that's fine, but you got to send me both. Please don't ask me to do the work twice. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. So I really don't want to make the meme and then you turn around and go, oh, can you do this picture instead? Guys, come on. Please. Let's just roll with it. Or what I may just do is send you the file on your own and you can do it. So there's that. So there we have it. So again, if you want to get your pictures done and everything else, send me your photos and that way I can take care of it and I can get your badges ready. Now, to be fair, this photograph of Dina is not her headshot photo. Okay. Because again, she's got the balloon thing too close to her face there. So we'll be using a different photo of Dina for her actual badge. But for this case, it works for the meme just fine. So there we have it. Okay, folks, I want to remind everybody there are 5 individuals, 5 float faculty figures who have yet to be on one of our Zoom calls. We've had 2 Zoom calls so far. We got 1 more tomorrow morning. Yes, you're reading this correctly. The last faculty Zoom is tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, 5 a.m. Pacific time. I don't want to hear anybody griping. You've had 2 other opportunities to be on the call. This is it. So if you're on the West Coast, you're like, dude, you've got to be crazy if you think I'm getting up at 5 a.m. Well, guess what? Then your butt should have been on one of the other calls. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have a lot of pity. Okay? Because, and we all know the individuals that don't make these calls are the ones that claim they didn't know things, they didn't this, they didn't that. I'm a little frustrated right now from a different conversation I had prior, so I'm gonna observe. I'm gonna zen. There we go. Okay, but yeah. So keep that in mind. Our last Zoom call is tomorrow morning for the faculty. So please be on the call because my butt will have to be here at the shop at 4:30 a.m. So be on the call. And as a friendly reminder to our vendors and sponsors, this coming Wednesday, October 22nd, is also the date of our vendor and sponsor Zoom call. 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to do a live Q&A. We're going to go over all kinds of, there's been some changes to the shipping processes at Float. We want to update you on that. We want to talk about dates you need to know. We need to talk about all kinds of other things related to your involvement at the convention. So again, for vendors and sponsors, that will be Wednesday, October 22nd. Now, keep in mind, the vendor and sponsor Zoom is not the same as the faculty. In other words, faculty is required to be on one of these calls. Vendors and sponsors don't. This is a courtesy thing that we're doing. With that being said, it is imperative that we are going to record this call and then we're going to upload it to the YouTube channel, and it'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel as an unlisted video, so you'll be able to watch it back. Tabitha, are you going to do another one for the people that would be at IBC? No, we are not. This will be recorded and uploaded to the YouTube channel. So if you don't make it, you can watch it there. And if you have other questions, then you can just reach out to us after that. So there's that. Um, so there we have all that fun stuff. So yes. Again, when we originally scheduled this call, one of the teachers had said, oh, when we announced the dates of the calls for the 16th and the 20th, the instructor said, oh, this is going to be a problem because I'm traveling to the IBC on the 16th and I get home from the IBC on the 20th. And I went, oh. So then I thought, okay, well, the dates are obviously in between there. So if we schedule this for the 22nd, it's no problem. And then we found out the instructor had the wrong dates after we'd already announced it. So it's fine. Could I have checked it? Yes, but I didn't think I had to at that point when one of the instructors said, oh, I'm going to be going to the event from this date, this date. So either way, it's fine. Again, this is an informational thing only. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be uploaded. So there we go. Okay. So there you have it. Okay. Also, I do want to take this opportunity. We have had one new vendor coming to Float in the past week, and we've had a rebrand from an existing vendor coming to Float. So let's talk about that. So I say new because this is not the first time that this particular vendor has been at Float. It's not the first time. Doubt it's going to be the last time, but we are so glad to share with you that our friends at Legenda and Borisino have officially come on board as sponsors of Float 2026. And for those of you keeping score on the vendor showcase, our friends at High Float are going to be partnering with Borisino, so they had to get a bigger booth, which means our friends at High Float had to vacate their existing booth and move to a different spot in the show to accommodate a larger footprint. That means that a very prime location in the trade show opened up just the other day. So if you're looking for a double booth or even a single booth in the very front of the show, you might want to get your butt over to the vendor page and scope out the map, because I'm telling you, it's a thing. Now, if you're an existing vendor and you want to move to that booth, remember there will be a transfer fee. It's going to cost $50 to move, but that's all. Unless, of course, you are expanding. So if you have a single booth and you move to a double, then we don't charge you the fee. But if you're going double to double or single to single, then you pay a $50 fee to transfer. So there's that. And for those of you keeping score, there are now officially less than 70 booths available for the upcoming vendor showcase. So once again, we are now at 111 booths are gone. This is, again, biggest turnout we've ever had. We know there's more vendors coming, but you know how bird in hand is. You don't say anything until they actually have paid the money and put it down. So very excited about that. But I also mentioned that we have a rebrand, and it's kind of funny. And I'm okay with it. Totally. I mean, it's totally fine. So let's just go. So our friends at Float Co. have rebranded their booth to Foils by Float Co. Okay. When they first signed up for Float, I said, does it concern you at all that you've signed up for the Float convention and your branding is the Float Co.? And of course they were like, no, because we don't look anything like you with this and blah, blah, blah. But we all know people don't. So I wondered if I have no idea if this is, or if the Float Co. is their decor line and maybe they want to switch into, this is their balloon line. No problem. Whatever works. It makes more sense for me at the convention. So there's that. So our friends at Float Co. have now become Foils by Float Co. Now, the vendor showcase map has not yet been updated with this reflection, but you will be swapping out this logo with what's on the vendor map very shortly. I'm just basically waiting until we get another booth to add in somewhere or move something around, then I'll add that in. So for now, that's fine. So there you go. And remember, you can visit all of our sponsors. You can visit all of them through the vendor page and the sponsor pages on the website. There are hot links to all of their sites. So please take a few minutes, show them your appreciation. take some time, go check out what they're offering, what they're selling to you. You don't have to wait for float. You can go now. You can go like Floatco. What's that? You can go to the vendor page at floatconvention.com, and then you can literally go and click on their link and go right to their website. So there's that. Okay. Okay. Pia, I should know what this means by now, but I don't. There's only vendors, I guess, 4 vendors, areas for vendors. I don't know what the 17 has to do with anything. I'm not sure what the 17 has to do with it. But yeah, so there are 69 booth spaces left. Very excited. And like I said, there's more people coming, so I'm excited about this. Dina, thank you very much. Dina just posted the link to the vendor page in the Facebook chat. So thank you very much for that, Dina. Appreciate you so many ways. Again, I do want to remind all of our vendors and sponsors that the scam artists are out there. They are actively targeting you to try to get you to book hotel rooms. I am shocked the number of different companies that are out trying to pull this crap. In fact, one of our sponsors apparently got this close, like literally signed up, got the reservation, then they sent them the link, said, okay, time to pay up. And thankfully, like they said, wait a minute, hold on, let me check with Steve first. So there's that. So there is no travel agency representing Float. There is no hotel booking agency representing Float. There is no convention organization representing Float. There is only Float. So please don't fall for this. Please don't click on anything. Please don't send in your credit card information. Please, please, please. We've told you 100 times. Don't do it. Because it's not affiliated with us. And we don't know what's going to happen to your money, and we're not going to take responsibility if that happens. So please make sure that you are being careful. Okay, so there's that. Okay, also want to remind everybody that we still have lots of sponsorships available for the convention. I imagine they're going to start going pretty quickly now that we're within 100 days. But we have the Monday night soiree wide open. Karaoke night wide open. The stage for opening night still open. Who would have thought that? The Friday night fun, completely open. There you go. So yes, very, very happy about all this. A lot of opportunities are still available for you. Lots of stuff. The tote bags just came back online again, and the price dropped about $2,000 on those because we were able to go through a different source. So I'm telling you, now's the time to go looking, kids. So if you're interested in sponsoring something at Float, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. I've been getting a lot of information, I shouldn't say that. Let me try that again. I've been getting a lot of requests from people about competitions at Float. In the last week alone, I think I've had 3 or 4 different messages going, hey, when is that coming? When are we talking about this? Are we still doing floaties this year? What's going on? Yes, all of that is still a conversation to be had. In fact, that conversation is going to be taking place on Thursday, November 6th. We are hosting a special edition of Step Chat Thursday, November 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I am thrilled to share with you that Ryan and myself and Laurel got together a couple of days ago, and we knocked out all the themes for all the existing competitions. What are they, you might be wondering? You'll find out on November 6th. So there we go. Very excited about all that. So yeah, November 6th, we'll be talking about floaties. We'll be talking about Designer of the Year. We'll be talking about the deadline competitions. We'll be talking about everything. So make sure you get involved. If you want to be part of it, make sure you tune in on Thursday, November 6th. Okay, it is now time for what we like to refer to as the street level content here in the Floativerse. It is time to talk about the daily life stuff that is Float. No. Sorry, he was going for that blanket again. Okay. So with that being said, let's get to the first stop on the journey, which is the Step Chat survey. Bear with me for just a moment. Okay. So today's question came to us from our good friend Adriana with Balloons by Tommy. And it was a really good question, actually. And she said, I am planning on having my hair and makeup done for final night and trying to find a company that can do this. And then we started talking about it. And I thought, well, because it's not something that, and I shouldn't say that. It's not something guys don't deal with because, for example, I wear a tux. And nothing would make me happier than if we had enough business to justify having a tuxedo company actually come to the hotel. In the days of IBAC, that's what used to happen. In the days of IBAC, when everyone was pretty much expected to wear a tux, the tuxedo people would come to the hotel on like Monday and size and measure you and fit everybody. And then they would bring the tux for the final night, or I'm sorry, not Monday. It was a Thursday. And then final night was Saturday. So and then they'd bring all the tuxes over Saturday morning. So yes, this could be a guy thing too. But historically, I think me and Carl are about the only people that ever wear tuxes at Float. So with that being said, the idea of, this kind of thing with hair and makeup makes perfect sense. So the idea was, is there enough interest in finding a company that will come to Float and offer hair and makeup on the day of the gala? Okay, so that was the question. We gave 3 answers. Yes, I would prefer someone to come in. No, I'm doing it myself, or I'd consider it, but it depends on the cost. So here's the problem with this particular survey as I see it. Yes, I would prefer someone to come in and provide this service. But you know that for the most part, it's also price dependent. If it turned out that someone came in and they're charging $500, I'd be willing to bet that all of a sudden out of nowhere, nobody wants to get their hair and stuff done. I saw one of the comments today and somebody was upset about paying $350. I don't know. I asked Adriana what a service like this costs. And keep in mind, it's going to cost differently in different parts of the country. So I guess the real question that I have to ask is, especially to the people that say I would consider it, what is that price point, right? Like, for example, you could sit there all day long as, I'd absolutely do it, but it depends on the price. $25, I'm not paying that. So I have no idea what this would mean, right? I have no clue. And the reason we're asking this is because if we arrange for a company like this to come to Float and do this, they're going to send me the bill. They're going to say flat out, you have to guarantee us X amount of business. It's like a food truck. Food trucks, you have an event, the food truck doesn't just show up and then do what they do. You have to commit to X amount of food going out the door for the food truck to show up. So the same thing, like for hot dog cart, like, oh my God, during COVID, we talked about hiring a local business that we knew really well to provide a hot dog cart. And my God, he wanted $1,500 guaranteed in hot dogs. I'm like, dude, I mean, I get it. COVID is a thing, but now see, Tabitha, reasonable rates. That tells me nothing. Unfortunately, reasonable rates for you and reasonable rates for somebody else could be very different. See, so I don't know what reasonable is. And Pia Guadalupe, cost is between $200 and $250. Okay. Pia is also in Los Angeles. Is that high compared to other parts of the country? I don't know. So this is a thing. And Tabitha also commented earlier too. Last Float, I went to Crystal's room and she had someone do hair and makeup. Yes. And that is something as well that Adriana was even talking about. She was thinking about having somebody come in and do it just independently. And that may be what we end up having to do, is that we just find a list of people that are willing to come to Float and do this, and you can book them yourselves, right? That could be the solution to the whole problem. The other factor, and Ariel Rush brought up a good point in the survey results as well. And she goes, it really depends on how many people, because nobody's going to want to get their hair done at 6 a.m. if that's the only time slot that's available. And okay, I may be a guy, but I know that's not going to work, right? I mean, you're thinking like nobody before like 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the earliest, or at the late. I mean, that latest, whatever. So it just depends on, and yeah, absolutely, it depends on how many people we're talking about. It depends on how many artists and all the other stuff. So I just don't know. Dina brought up a good point. It's also a consideration of the time frame between the end. Okay, well then there you go. That's what I just talked about. Yeah, so there's that. Tabitha, I would say, now see, here you go. Tab says, I'd like 60 for makeup and maybe 60 for the hair. I can tell you right now, here on the West Coast, people, I don't even know that they do. I don't even know that they would do just one or the other for the combined price of that. So I don't know what we're looking at. And you also have to keep in mind that you're dealing with an event. This is considered a boutique service. So, I mean, hair and makeup in general is a boutique service. It's at a boutique, but it's a luxury is what I'm saying. So there may be a markup on top of that. Now, the advantage when I was talking to Adriana, of course, is a lot of these people, if they do like weddings and things like that, January tends to be very, very slow. So they might be willing to negotiate a price point. So it's basically, if there is a beauty school, they may be interested in doing it. Yeah. No. Well, I guess they're not cutting hair. They're just styling it. So I guess that's fine. That just gave me marriage flashbacks. Whew, like, God, my ex refused to pay salon prices for hair. So she would go to the beauty schools to get her hair done. And I can't tell you the number. She must have made so many women and men cry. She must have. She would tell my appointment's at 10. I'm like, okay, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Because she's one of those people that just would not get out of that chair until it was how she wanted it. And there was more than one occasion where she came home cussing, screaming, and yelling how she has to go back the next day because they screwed up. And every time I said, then why don't we just pay for you to go to a salon? And nope, I'm not paying that much. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you weren't the one paying it anyway. So what the hell? But yeah, so there we go. So sorry, I had flashbacks there. So there's that. So yeah. Okay. So we will explore this. We will look into it. We're not making any promises at this point. We're just going to look into it, see what we can find. Okay. But we will begin the research on it. So there's that. Okay. In fact, somebody I know and care for very much has been asking how they can help me with Float. So guess what? I think I just found a job for her to do. Okay. So there we go. So thank you all very much for taking part in today's survey. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I'll have something for you next week. All right. Don't forget, everybody. Hell, for all I know, you're watching us on YouTube. But yes, Float has its own YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/thefloativerse. We ask that you like our videos. We ask that you subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube at all. It helps with the engagement. It helps us build an audience. We really appreciate it. And all of our videos are being uploaded there as we go along. Natasha, going back to the previous topic, this would be considered special event hair and makeup, so there would definitely be a markup, in my professional opinion. And remember, Natasha Natasha was a professional hairstylist at one point, and technically still is. Correct? Am I right? In my professional opinion, you're better off letting people book independently for something like this. Sounds like it would be a nightmare for you to coordinate. Yes, I will agree with that, and I will agree that. I mean, the moment I talked about this, like Andrea in the comments was like you don't need to be doing this. She's right. She's probably right. And so it might just be a matter of collecting people and getting information, and then we can present it to everybody. How's that sound? So here's that. Oh, and by the way, were Natasha coming to Float, I have a feeling some people might throw some bucks her way if she were to help with hair and makeup. I'm just saying. That's just. And Jenny, you were who I was just talking about a couple minutes ago. You've been saying, is there something I can do to help? This might be something you can do to help me. So I'll tag you after the call. Okay. All right. Also, we've made an adjustment to the Step Chat schedule that I want to go over with everybody moving forward. So obviously tonight we're doing the live broadcast. Tomorrow the full episode will be recorded or uploaded to our YouTube channel. But I am no longer trying to keep the Tuesday schedule for the summary. It occurs to me that number one, I'm not hitting it half the time anymore anyway. Like I just don't have time to get to it before Tuesday. Secondly, the summary episode is great, but at the same time, there's a lot of information you're missing on that. So it's kind of like you should either, if you want to get it, go Monday, or you'll have to wait till Wednesday. That's all there is to it. So yeah, starting this week, we're going to back up the summary episode to Wednesday. So for those of you that aren't familiar, like I said, we take this entire recording, we upload it to YouTube tomorrow, but then on Wednesday, we will upload a summary version, which is basically bullet points. A lot of the filler conversation isn't really there, and all that other stuff. So there we have that. So get to it. And don't forget that this coming Tuesday, our regular get together with our good friend Lisa McIntyre with Kicking Back with Lisa Mac. This is our, like I said, our virtual happy hour every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. Lisa hosts a live show here on the Float Facebook page. The link will be posted in the Facebook group to keep it private and secure. Anybody can join the call. Anyone can join the call. Anyone can join the call. You can click on the link. If you're live on the call and Lisa sees you, she could turn around and have she could send you the link directly through Facebook if you want to join the call. Or if you don't want to get on the actual Zoom call part of it, you could just leave comments and like here on Facebook. You can see that the first hour of the show is broadcast live, and then after that, they go into after party mode. So join Lisa this coming Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. And just one last reminder, the Aloft class coming for this coming Tuesday. So right before Lisa's show, right before Lisa's show, the Aloft class will be the Christmas Candy House with Leslie Hicks Mercado. So basically the gingerbread house pattern that everybody wants to know every year. There it is. It's going to be on the Aloft program now forever. And with that being said, that will do it for tonight's episode of, well, that'll do it for the slideshow portion of tonight's episode of Step Chat. So there we go. Okay. Steve, had the Visitor and Convention Bureau give you a list of stylists, barbers, and artists in the air. That would be a good point. We could certainly look into that as well. So yeah, that's certainly and that's okay. That's certainly an opportunity. Yeah, like I said, the more and more that I'm, because at the end of the day, the problem with us taking this responsibility on is things that we've learned from our mistakes in the past. I am still angry about Float 2022. I am still angry about Float 2022, the COVID float. Yeah, there's that. For those of you wondering what that is about, Float 2022 was COVID. The restaurant in the hotel, because of staffing problems, was shut down for 2 complete days, Monday and Tuesday, which meant, well, at least Monday, which meant there was absolutely no food available in the building. And and it was winter and they had just been clobbered with some snow. And everybody was like, it's too dangerous to walk to the mall. And keep in mind, the mall was across the parking lot. Okay. With a myriad of restaurant options. But everybody said no, it's too dangerous. We don't want to do it. We need food here. We need you to do something. We need you to provide us food. And so we did. We contacted catering. We said we got to pull an immediate thing here. We had 500 people there. So we said, okay, we'll commit to 200. So we had to buy 200 boxed meals. And basically they were like sandwiches, chips, cookies, and a drink. And everybody was, oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you had to pay for them, right? So Float had to buy them. We had to, the food truck, we had to commit to them. And then the attendees would buy them. And as long as they all got bought out, there was no problem. Thirty of 200 got bought. People didn't like the price. Suddenly, they were perfectly fine walking across the parking lot to the mall to get food. So this reason alone, I'm still bitter about this one. I had to pay for 170 meals that went nowhere. And then what made it even worse, well, what got us even more angry about it, to be honest with you, was so we bought all these meals. Now we're not gonna eat all that stuff. But I said, okay, well then you need to bring me like 60 of them to our space. You need to bring me like 60 of them to the space. And I want and they well, I remember what I actually said. Well, I said I want 60 of them brought so that we can eat them. And they said, oh, we can't do that. I said, what do you mean you can't do that? They're like, oh, it's a spoilage issue. It's a health risk issue. We can't do that. I'm like, no, you can do that. You just don't want to do it. I'm buying these damn meals. I want the 60 meals in this room. And they said no. They refused. So then I said, okay. So it's a safety issue. It's a health and safety issue. Yes, it is. I said, are you making the potato chips or are they coming out of a box? Are they pre-bagged individual chips? And they looked at me like they're individual chips. Great. Are you baking the cookies or are the cookies prefabbed in packets? They're in packets. And I'm pretty sure you're not serving sodas out of a 2-liter jug. So I want all of them. I'm paying 20, like what was, it was $17 with it was the sandwich plus the 33% tax and service fees. So it came to $17. I said, I'm paying all this money for this. You're bringing it in here. They fought me for like 3 hours on this. I was so angry. Just one more reason why we weren't going back again, because we'd already signed a contract for 24. That we weren't going back again. That was just one of the reasons why. And none of it made sense. This was all BS. This was a cash grab is what this was. And it made me really, really angry. And like I said, you could sit there on the one hand and say, just fine, okay, it's a safety issue. But all of this is prepackaged food. Now you're just trying to keep all of it. No, the answer is no. And finally, after about 3 or 4 hours, they walked in with about 30. So the staff had already eaten. So they brought about 30 more of them in for us, as opposed to the 60 I had requested. And then they gave us a case of cookies and a case of chips and big thing of soda. I'm like, it wasn't the full count. But at the end of the day, it was the best I was going to get. And again, just one more reason why we're not going back to that hotel ever again. There's a whole bunch of reasons why. So, hello, Greg Aragoni. Good to see you. There you go. Miss Stephanie brought up a really good point here. One of the reasons why we shouldn't touch it, because she's right. If one person is unhappy with their makeup, they'll be blaming us, which is very, very possible. So we want to make sure that does not happen. So yeah. Linda, isn't there a salon in the hotel? There is a spa in the hotel. I don't think there is a salon in the hotel. Now, they may offer this at the spa, but if they do, I'm not aware of it. That would make sense, though. It might be something for me to look into because, again, forgive me, I've never had to research this for myself. So now we have one more new question to look up for all of that. But I'm not aware of there's not an actual salon in the hotel that I'm aware of. There is a day spa, and that might be a service they offer. So we'll look into that, see if that's a thing. But I can assure you, it ain't going to be $60 for an updo and $60 for makeup. It's going to be hotel pricing. So Reno has many, many salons. Hold on, Nicole. Let's get that up here. Nicole is from the area. Reno has many, many salons. Just make reservations now. Well, I think the question isn't about booking there. The idea is having them come to the hotel. So, but yeah, I mean, you can always go to one too, I'm sure. And I do know that some people have done that before. So just have to wait and see how that works out. So thank you for that, Nicole. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I've got time for questions. So if anybody's got anything they'd like to know about the Floativerse, I'm more than happy to answer it if I can. Today was a very productive day. Aside from the Mariners install that we had to do and the homecoming event we had to take down, I also got some mileage made on I got some distance done on the app today. So the float app that we're offering at the convention. Plus on top of that, we've got, I've been dealing with quotes for the printing, all that stuff. So I got to get that information to them as far as the notebooks go, because this year there's 3 notebooks. We've got the academic notebook, or the academic float book. We've got the foundational float book, and we've got we're calling it now the flotation folio. That's what we're calling it now. Plus on top of that, we got the convention guide. And so many things moving at one time. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff to deal with. So there's that. But yeah, so today was a good day. Today was a good float day. I got a lot of good stuff done today. I need to get more because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, so there's that. Like I said, right now that I know of, there's at least 2 or 3 more vendors coming in soon. I'm just waiting for them to get their stuff together. Again, I can't stress this enough. If you are one of our vendors, a prime piece of real estate opened up in the front of the show. So go take a look at it. There you go. Kelly, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, there we go. I have finally calmed the dog down by simply rubbing his belly throughout the last 20 minutes of the call. So there's that. So, yeah. Okay, well, it does not appear that anybody has any more questions. I will give it one more minute, and then I will bug out of your hair if that's the case. Looking forward to tomorrow morning to our instructors that weren't on the call. I'm looking forward to our class on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to our sponsor call on Wednesday. Lots of stuff moving in the right direction. Like I said, with the vendor call is going to be important. We have some new information to give with that, with new coatings for shipping and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, we're very excited about that. So, okay, guys, thank you all very much. I appreciate you being here as always. I can't say this enough. It kills me that you guys spend Sunday nights with me here at the Fortress of Solitude. So thank you very much for being here. It really means a lot to me. Up. Hold on. There we go. We just got a question. Is the gala formal? Yes, it is semi-formal. The Float Designer Awards Gala is considered a semi-formal event. The ladies have worn dresses, whether they have worn gowns or they have worn stylish cocktail outfits, that's fine too. Women have worn suits, that's perfectly acceptable. Gentlemen have worn shirt and tie, they've worn jackets, they've worn suits, they've worn tuxedos. What we don't want is we don't want you to be the guy who shows up in a t-shirt and shorts. Okay, bottom line. Basically dress as if 1,000 people are going to take your picture, because chances are they will. So you'll be walking the orange carpet that night, all that other stuff. There we go. Okay, so Dina just posted this. The salon at the hotel offers updos starting at $125. So what is the salon? Because again, I've walked through that building now multiple times and I don't remember seeing a salon. So is this the spa? Is what I'm wondering. Oh, and by the way, let's go back to Nicole's question real quick. Also, I do want to remind everybody, because of the fact that this year's Designer Awards Gala is a tribute to the loss of our friend Tommy DeLorenzo, we are asking everyone this year to wear some element of green in their attire. Okay. You don't have to wear a green outfit, just something green for the gala. Okay. Dina, it is in the spa. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's what I suspect. Because like I said, I can't imagine. I've walked that building so many times. I don't remember seeing a salon, but that does make sense that it's in the spa. So there you go. Okay, so thank you very much, Dina. Appreciate that. Okay, yeah. And next week we'll go over some of the more. Next week we'll go over stuff like the theme nights and all that kind of fun stuff. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about then. So the different functions and the different opportunities and all that fun stuff. So there's that. Dina saw nothing about makeup. So yeah, they probably just offer the updos then or whatever. So yeah. And like I said, there's no way you're not going to, at a hotel, there's no way you're not going to pay a hotel price for that. So there's that. So, okay. Alrighty. Again, I am so thrilled by the fact that you guys join me every Sunday night and hang out with me here. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. And this isn't just lip service. All the work that we put into making this show, because there's a lot of work that actually goes into putting this show over. I mean, it's just being a talking head, but all the slides, all the organization, all the presentation. There's a couple hours every week put together just putting this together. It means so much that you guys are here, interacting, talking, asking questions, joking around with each other. It's great. It's all part of our community and it makes it all worthwhile. So thank you all very much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for being part of this event. Very excited about it. And we are really looking forward to 98 days from today. Go out there and kick some butt. I'll see you next time.